make sure this is a lie. What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Coach NaQuandra, and welcome to my YouTube channel. We are here. Let me know if you're in the room. Say what's up in the chat or something. Let me know that you can hear me, that everything is well, so we can get into this tonight because I am excited to talk to y'all tonight. Where are we with this echo? Oh, we need to turn that. We need to mute this. All right, all right. So we got that under control. Let's get into it. So, like I'm saying, I'm Coach NaQuandra. You probably following me, so you know who I am. You've been watching all my videos, the many different thousand videos that I have created on YouTube. And here we are with another one. So I am a mindset, productivity, and business coach. So I help people to walk in purpose, basically. I believe, I'm confident that I was created to help empower, uplift, and equip you, empower you to live on purpose, to equip you to greater faith and uplift you to walk in your purpose and all of that good and wonderful stuff. So tonight we're talking about two things that I'm going to tell you a story about a client that literally tried me on a in a season where I was like, Lord, really? In a season where you're like, God, I just want another job, like, what is this? And then here comes this client. So I want to tell you that story because a lot of us get to that point in anything that we're branching out onto into, and when we don't get the praises and the claps and the whatever, and we get some kind of pushback, we're ready to quit and we don't believe that God called us to it anymore and all of that extra stuff. So let's get into it. If you're not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. All you got to do is press one button and like this video, because when you do those things, this gets out to more people. Okay, so just a little bit about what I do. So for those of you who do not know, I am a digital product creator. That is my career, that is my job, that is my bread and butter. So what I do is create lead magnets, journals, planners, workbooks, graphics, websites for many different professionals. I have been mainly freelancing through Fiverr, and by the grace of God, have been able to do it full time since when was it? Since 2020 2 or 3. So it started out on a whim. I was a teacher. Teaching that school year had already been contemplating like, listen, I'm putting my foot forward on this job. Now it's still not working, Lord. And so I also needed to supplement and make more money. And so I jumped on the Fiverr and I was like, well, I'm making workbooks for myself because I was fully invested in being a life coach in that season of my life. And so I was like, I need to make more money so I can supplement my income so I can continue to fund my business because I understand that, while you're working your full-time job, you need to be funding your business. Okay. And so that's what I was doing. And so I got on this little Fiverr thing and it just took off. So I've been able to fully sustain myself like financially through freelancing through Fiverr. And so my digital product creation has become a whole studio. So I'm Knack Studio, digital creation studio. Again, we create lead magnets, journals, planners, workbooks, all of that wonderful stuff for many different professionals. And as you can tell, this was a move of faith. And I did that. I left Charlotte, moved in with my parents for a year, and then the Lord blessed me to be able to move out on my own, which, hallelujah. Okay. And so I'm literally living in a place that I didn't see possible 2 years ago. And so we're going to talk a little bit tonight about walking by faith because it's scary and it looks different. And the only thing that we can anticipate while we're walking by faith is to expect God to be good because He is good. Okay, so let's continue. We'll actually get started. I'm talking about continue like we've been doing something. Let's get started. And I wanted to share a little bit about my testimony so that you can know that I'm not just telling you these things just because, like, the shifts that we're going to talk about tonight, where you see in the title, fears that we need to overcome as a business owner. We're going to talk about practical shifts that you need to make as you're leading your business. These are things that I have incorporated myself. These are things that I am doing myself. Okay. I'm not a trained guru who went to some $7,000 class and learned all of these good nuggets so that I can come and tell you the nuggets, some of things which most people have not implemented. These are shifts and challenges that I've had to overcome, and I can now equip you and give you insight, strategy, and understanding on how you can overcome these things as well. Okay, so amen. 3 fears you need to overcome as an entrepreneur. Whether you have a service providing business, you're starting your community, you're running a podcast, you're branching out into ministry, whatever that looks like for you. These are 3 things across the board that we have to overcome as we continue to build. Okay, so the first one is the fear of failing. The fear of not getting it right, the fear of looking crazy in front of people because I made, quote unquote, the wrong decision. The first thing I'll say to that is, so what? At least you tried, right? Most people don't even try. Most people don't even step out of the boat. You see all those disciples that was in that boat, only one of them took that step and was like, hey, let me get out on that water with you. One out of all of those who were in there, somebody has to go and somebody has to be willing to fail, right? Somebody has to be willing to look crazy in order to chart this new path, to chart this new territory, to develop this new idea, to develop this new skill, right? All of these places that you see around you, Walmart, Target, Amazon, your favorite treat store, your favorite store to shop at online. All of these things started at nothing. Just because you haven't seen it done does not mean that it is not possible. You got to be the one that's willing to fail, to look crazy or whatever, to bring the thing to life, okay? And understand, when you fail, it's not a dig as if you're a bad person or you're not good enough or you didn't do the right thing. Well, maybe you didn't do the right thing, but okay, in me doing this and knowing now I can't do this, I need to choose another route. That's a lesson learned, right? That's inventory, or not inventory, but data you can keep track of. Last time I made this decision and this was the result. Let me now shift or tweak my decision making, my strategy, or my system to see what this result is going to be. Everything that we're looking at that has been made by human hands, it's been made by trial and error. Okay, trial and error. And so you have to be willing to fail in order to see success. You have to be willing to make mistakes, because that is where you learn. That's where you see what works and what don't work. So be okay with your small wins, and definitely be okay with your big wins. Be okay with the things that you've tried that did not work or did not, boom as great as you thought it was going to boom. I've started many different businesses. I've had a t-shirt printing business. I had, I was making waist beads and selling those. I was selling masks. I tried to branch out a few years ago as a purposeful life coach. That didn't work. I tried to I did a whole bunch of stuff, like making crafts on my, I had these little hair bows that I was going to start making for little girls, and they actually came out really cute. I should have brought all of that stuff out here so I can just show you, this really happened. Hair bows that I brought out that I was going to make for little girls, that didn't work. And so I'm like, listen, we just got to keep making changes till we get it right. And like I told you, what I'm doing now as a digital product creator, I have my studio now. That, listen, it just happened by trial and error. I was like, hey, I need some extra money. I took that leap of faith, and look where the Lord brought us. So you have to give God something to work with. You can talk all you want, but until you start to put your hands to work, until you start to put hand to paper, feet to ground, and start making some movements, then you give him something that he can work with. Then you give him something that he can make a way out of no way with, right? The word says that faith without works is dead, right? So if you're not doing anything to apply your faith, you're doing nothing at all. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your breath. So don't be afraid to fail. And one thing that has helped me when it comes to overcoming that fear of failure is understanding, no matter what happens, the word says that he says that he will, first of all, make a way out of no way, but make every crooked path straight, and that he goes before us and, has made plans and preparations for us. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the thoughts I have for you, declare the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm you. So that means that he's already gone before me and laid out my destiny. So if I just consider the Lord in all that I do, I can trust that if I'm about to step off the ledge and fall to my end, or if I'm about to step into a wooded area and there is a snake that's going to bite me, if I'm about to give my money to somebody who's going to squander it, as I'm considering him, he's going to guide my footsteps. I've had, before I moved in and went into this field full time, there was two other avenues I wanted to go down. I wanted to either go to cosmetology school, or I wanted to open up an in-home childcare, and I was sold. Listen, that is another business I started that did not work. Okay. So I had set up my whole apartment to be an in-home childcare. When I tell you I gave away my bed, I took my TV out of the living room, I took everything out of the living room and put it into my bedroom and left the living room open and brought toys, brought everything just to set it up as a childcare center. And I did that in not only one apartment, but two apartments for 2 consecutive years. And listen, the kids were coming. The kids were coming. The parents were coming to take tours. They were doing Saturday drop-offs. Like, I had kids coming in. Like, it was working. It was working. So when I was like serious about really establishing myself in this lane of childcare, I took the next step of doing the licensing part, where you take the courses with the state and then you get ready for them to come in and what is it called, for them to come in and review your place and whatever. And I was doing it. So and I'm sharing this with you to put an experience with the scripture and show you what my faith looks like. And so when I say that, if you consider the Lord in all your ways, that he will direct your steps. Like, he will tell you yes or no, this is not it, this is it. And so I paid for this the state training. I went to day one. I went to sleep on the night of day one and had a dream, and the Lord was like, no, Miss Ma'am, no, no, no. And so from that, I woke up and I was like, I wonder what this dream is about. I kind of already knew, but I was like trying to justify and make sense of it. I was like, well, I'm going to just go to day two and see how I felt. And I got into day two. I could not focus. I kept thinking about the dream. And I was just like, I am not supposed to be in this class right now. And so I did not go down that route. And so the Lord, before I delved down that road, he stopped me. For the other route with cosmetology, he did the same thing. And that is because I was carefully considering him in all of my doing. I was giving him space to direct my step. So before I stepped off on the ledge, he was able to redirect me. We also have to be willing to listen to the redirection when he's telling you, no, don't do that. You got to be willing to listen and take heed to that, okay? So again, first fear we need to overcome is the fear of failing. And I gave you some great mindset shifts, some things that you need to start praying and doing to make sure that whatever it is that you're pursuing right now, whatever it is that you're building right now. Also, what are you building right now? Put in the comment. What are you building? I know a lot of you have businesses, you got podcasts, you got communities, you got nonprofits, you got ministries that you're starting. Put it in the comments. What are you building right now? So, fear of failing. Second thing, the fear of people, okay? In the word, it says the fear of man bringeth a snare. When I first read the scripture years ago, I was like, what is a snare? But a snare is a trap. So the fear of man will bring a trap for you. It will trap you, stop you, block you, hinder you, slow you down when you are stuck, confined, held bound, held captive by the fear of man. You fully have to get free from this. I'm going to say, not just you, we fully have to get free from the fear of man, because it will hinder every step that you try to make. Okay? So listen, fear of people, fear of man, not getting the support that you hope for as you're building, being judged by people, being embarrassed by people. Listen, you're going to have to be willing to get out here and look crazy. You're just going to have to. You're just going to have to be willing to get out here and look crazy. Moses looked crazy. I meant to say Noah first. Noah looked freaking crazy, okay? They had never seen rain. It was like, what is you talking about? Rain is coming. We don't know nothing about no rain. You're tripping. He looked crazy. Okay, Moses looked crazy when he went to Pharaoh and said, let these people go. Boy, who is you? I raised you. What you telling me? They looked crazy. Okay? All these people who said Abraham looked crazy when he left, got up and left all of his people to go here. He looked crazy. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? You got to be willing to look. You're actually be willing and anticipate looking crazy. Anticipate it. So if you can anticipate it, you can get over the fear that you might be embarrassed or you might be perceived a type of way in front of people. Right? And if you're doing what God called you to do, right? Carefully considering him in all of your ways, he's going to shield you from some of that. Some things you might have to endure because it might toughen you up a little bit, build a little bit of character in you, okay? That's good for the soul. That's good for the soul. But some things he might shield you from. That's why we need to carefully consider him in all of our ways. Being judged. Listen, you're going to be judged. People are going to judge you whether you doing right or you doing wrong. It does not matter. Somebody is always going to have an opinion about what you're doing. It's just what's going to happen, right? You see all this stuff that's happening in the world. Everybody has an opinion. A lot of people are divided on opinions in on certain situations, and that's just who we are. We're opinionated people. We have our own viewpoints, and we think that we're right. So if you are stalled right now because you're afraid of being judged, or a person or a group of people have an opinion about what you're doing, you're going to stay stuck, right? The only opinion you need to be worried about is what God's opinion is about you. What does he think about you? What does he say about what you're doing? Did he tell you to do this? Did he call you to this? Is what you need to be asking, because if you have God's backing, you're good. If you have God's backing, you're good. Nothing else to worry about. And he's going to listen. He's going to show up and he's going to silence the mouth of every naysayer. Everybody who got a problem. He's going to silence their mouth. And sometimes you got to be like Nehemiah and you just got to let them talk and do your work. Right? Because wherever the Lord is building, it will grow and it will establish. But if the Lord is not in it, you'll see the fruit of that. All right. And so sometimes you don't even have to talk. Well, I mean, a lot of times we don't have to talk. We just be in our feelings and we just want to say stuff back. But sometimes you don't even have to say anything. Just continue to labor and let people have their opinions. Again, the fear of man is going to bring you a snare. It's going to put you in a trap. It's going to put you in a stuck place. It's going to put you in a hole. It's going to put you in a void. And it's going to derail your destiny. It's going to derail your assignment. And I know for sure you do not want that. You don't want that. I don't want that. We don't want that. We want to walk in purpose. We want to walk in liberty. And I mean liberty. Liberty means freedom. Freedom of the thoughts of what people may think or say about what I'm doing. Freedom of thinking about, oh, well, they might feel this way if I do this. They might feel this type of way if I do this. Like creative people, we have a thing about us where we try to dummy ourselves down or shrink back in order not to offend people. But what you're really doing is you're drying yourself up. Right? And I'm talking about the people who are not prideful, people who are humble, people who are submitted to the Lord. I'm not talking about y'all out here being arrogant, acting a fool, okay? I'm not talking about you. But I'm talking about those people of God who have so many gifts, but they are, oh, I don't want to offend this, and I don't want to offend that, and I don't want to step here, and I don't want to step that. When you're equipped and called, like, it's crazy. It's just talking from experience. But one thing the Lord has been telling me this season, do not shrink. Okay, do not shrink. Do not draw back. Continue to press. Stay consistent. Do what you have to do. All right. You spent enough of your time shrinking. We've spent enough of our time shrinking. It's time to build. Okay, it's building season. All right. And then the third fear that you need to overcome is the fear of the unknown. There was a season where I was like, Lord, and I wasn't working for myself at this time, but I was a teacher or something. And I was like, Lord, I don't know what's happening right now, but I just feel like I'm walking through a cloud. I don't know where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going, but I just know that I am walking with you. Because I don't know what's happening right now. That's how faith is. It's like you're just walking with God and He's telling you the next step. He's telling you what to do here. He's telling you what to do there. And sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen next. Like I told you, I'm living in a place that I did not see how it would happen in 2023. I didn't see how it would happen. I couldn't tell you how everything was going to come together. I just knew that I had to trust God and continue to move forward. And anytime I feel stuck, and I just keep moving forward. Anytime I feel like delayed, I just keep moving forward. That's literally the answer. Forward movements only, okay? Until God tells you to shift, you just keep moving forward with the last thing that He told you to do. It's okay if you are like a little timid by the assignment because you don't know how it's all going to come together. But listen, you got to start somewhere. Don't let the vastness of the vision stifle you or slow you down. Like, you have to start somewhere, and don't get hung up on, perfection, everything being perfect. This process, this system that I have that I work with my clients on, it was perfected over time, and it's still being perfected. I mean, still being perfected. I was listening to a voice note that I made to myself last year, and I was saying how, oh, I'm struggling to keep up with this, and I'm trying to find this system for that, and it seems like it's not working. And I was like, yep, still happening today, still happening today, still happening today. Hey, it's just how it is. It's still happening. And so you just keep making changes till you get it right. You just be diligent. Diligent. You have to learn diligence. You have to learn discipline as you're going forward. Even if you don't know how it's all going to come together, you'll be putting the pieces together. Like, think of it as a puzzle. You got 1,000-piece puzzle. You know what the end picture looks like, but you don't know exactly where each piece is and where each piece is going. But as you build that puzzle, the pieces start to come together. At the end, you have the finished product. Okay? So, the fear of the unknown. When you walk with God, sometimes you just don't know, but you just have to trust that He is walking with you. Okay? So, let's get into the shifts. So, a recap. 3 fears you need to overcome. Number 1, the fear of failing. Number 2, the fear of people. Number 3, fear of the unknown. 3, write this down. I need to overcome my fear of failing. I need to overcome the fear of people, because the fear of man bring a snare, a trap, a hindrance, a void. And then I need to overcome my fear of the unknown. Okay? Now, let's go into these shifts that we need to make. These are practical shifts we need to make as we're talking about building. These are building business. My channel header banner is called The Launching Pad, a space for leaders, a space for creators, because we're building things over here. So here are 3 shifts that you need to make. Number 1, you have to stop treating your business, your ministry, your podcast, or your community. You got to stop treating it like it's a hobby. If you want this thing to become your career, if you've seen this as your career, you've seen this as your main thing, then you have to start treating it that way, okay? When I started working for myself full time, I was like, I got to get up like I'm going to work. Like, I'm literally clocking in at ABC Academy, right? I got to get up at 5. I need to get dressed, and I need to be out the house at a certain time. Like, I had to train myself up that way. I would literally get to Panera Bread at probably 6 a.m. and maybe leave there at 4 or 5 p.m. I was there all day working as if I'm clocking in onto my 9 to 5. Why? Because this is now my 9 to 5. This is my career. This is where my income is coming from. This is where my provision is coming from. And so I have to treat it like that. I can't just, oh, I'm gonna sit here on the couch and be cute, or I'm gonna sit whatever. Like, get out of the mindset that I'm just doing this, I'm just trying this. Make up in your mind that this is it, and you have to work on it diligently. If that means you need to go to a co-working space, go to it. If that means you need to go to Panera Bread, go to it. If that means you need to sit at Starbucks, then do it. If you need to be at Barnes and Noble, go and do it, so that you get into the mindset. That means you got to get up. If you want to work in the house, but you need to get up and get dressed like you're working at somebody's job, like your boss is going to come in and open your door and make sure that you're doing the work that they're paying you to do. See, when you're working for yourself, your boss is God, okay? And so he's watching everything you do. He says, work heartedly unto the Lord and not unto man. So even when you on a 9 to 5, you got your supervisor over you, but we work heartedly unto the Lord and not unto man, okay? And it's even more important when you're working for yourself, because depending on where you at and how your system is set up and what type of business or services or whatever you're providing, if you don't work, you don't eat. You know, you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing to supply for yourself. That makes sense? So don't treat it like it is a hobby. Treat it like it is your career. Okay, if that means you got to get a new work outfit, get you a new work outfit. If that means you need to get up and lay them edges down, you need to put your eyelashes on, whatever you got to do, get up and act like you clocking into them people job, because it seems like we work harder for them people on their jobs than we do for ourselves. And that's not cool, man. Not cool. Okay. So it's not a hobby. This is your career. Make it happen. Make up in your mind. And when you make up your mind, you will see a drastic difference. Discipline yourself. Okay. Shift number 2 is find the tools that work for you, not what everybody's telling you to do. Before I get too deep into that, I will say one thing I noticed when I started, when I start building, like getting started on new platforms, like we'll use ClickUp, for example. So one of my friends and I work with, she told us about ClickUp, and so I started using ClickUp for my business. And they will email you once you get on these platforms. They'll email you and be like, hey, you want to set up a call, or hey, you want to come to this free training, or hey, you want to learn more about this. Take those opportunities and go to those free workshops, go to those free calls to talk to these people so that you can learn about the product that you're trying to embed in your business. And I always get gems from those free workshops where they'll be like, hey, we're going to come together and we're going to talk about automation, or we're going to come together and we're going to talk about website development. We're going to come together and we're going to talk about how we're embedding AI into our program. Like, those little free workshops help me so much. I don't go to them as much as I used to when I first started, because I had a lot more time back then to sit at things like that. But if you're in the space, because I know Wix sends out webinars all the time. When I first got on Fiverr, they would have webinars all the time. I spoke to my success coach on there, and she said they're getting back into having those again. But it also makes you feel like you have a community, because as entrepreneurs, sometimes you're just out here in the space and you're by yourself and you don't have anybody that you can relate to, especially depending on the bloodline that you come from. You may not have family that you can talk to. You may not have friends or people in your community that you can talk to. So you may sometimes feel like a lone wolf, or like you're on an island by yourself. So going to these webinars that are free, or having these coaching sessions that are free, are going to help you further establish that mindset of, this is not a hobby, this is my job, and then also give you insight and equip you with strategy that you can use to be successful on their platforms, and also maybe some things that you can embed in your business as well. So take that nugget. Find the tools that work for you, not what everybody else says. So you can get on YouTube and this person can say, these are 10 tools that you must use for your da 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 da. And you might get on that one of them programs and be like, I don't like this. Like StreamYard, I don't like StreamYard. Riverside, I don't like Riverside. And I've tried them. I tried, I don't know how many times I've tried to use Riverside, like on and off, on and off, on and off. And if this system that I'm using right now, OBS, didn't work, I probably would have tried Riverside again. It probably would have came to my mind, but I just do not like Riverside. And that is okay. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't like the platform. It just isn't for you. There's 1,000 other platforms out there that you can use, right? And some of them are free, right? If you want to get started on streaming like I'm doing for free, you can use OBS, open broadcaster software. Is free. Now it might take you a little bit of time to figure out how to use it, but it's usable, and again, it is free. And if you are tech savvy, you can learn how to put these overlays on the screen. You can learn how to switch between scenes like this. You can learn how to, I literally just figured out how to set this timer up, but let me tell you something. Honey, the timer is not working. It might not be working because the time is up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with this later. But yeah, my timer is a paid actor today. So yeah, just be nice to her because she's just doing her best. But anyway, you can figure out, oh look, it just updated. You can figure out how to do all this nice stuff on here, but you just have to take the time and be willing to learn it, okay? You know what I'm saying? Now, that being said, planner is the main tool I want to talk about because that's a tool that you need because you need to be organized. You may not be perfectly consistent with your planner, but if you have the right system on how you use your planner, you'll be successful. So I just shared a post a few days ago about not three things, but 3 alarms that I set on my phone when I was in the beginning stages of figuring out how to be more disciplined and use my planner the right way. I set an alarm for morning, I set an alarm for midday, and I set an alarm at night. The morning timer was not to fill out my planner, it was to review my planner. The midday timer was to check in. So whatever I got done up into midday, whatever time I framed midday to be, I would check off the planner. I got this done, I got this done, I got this done. Here's an update. Because sometimes you get into a place where you might end up having to erase some stuff or move something over to the next day and yada yada. Right? And while we even talking about that, I'm going to get ready to pull up my execute only mini planner, right? And then my timer at night was to fill out, sorry, my train of thought, to fill out my planner for the next day. So no, do not fill out your planner the day of. You need to fill out your planner for the next day, the night before. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you are ready to go. You know exactly what you need to do. There is no guessing and wasting brain energy in the morning because we barely have brain energy in the morning. So if you take that time at night to fill out your planner, you wake up and you know exactly what you need to do the next day. Okay, that's the most important. Every time I forget or I don't feel like filling out my planner because I'm not perfect, okay, but I do use my planner consistently. When I don't fill out my planner at night, either because I forgot or I just was like, Lord, I'm not filling out this planner tonight. We're going to have to figure this out tomorrow. I'm tired. I want to go to bed right now. And so I wake up and my morning is so discombobulated. Absolutely discombobulated. And it's because I got to figure out, okay, now what am I going to do today? What do I need to do today? Whose order do I need to finish? Who do I need to follow up with? What leads do I need to check up on? What is my contractor doing? Like, and I got to write all that down in the morning. And so when you fill your planner out at night, you review it, you wake up, and you can wake up with, I know what I need to do today. And you just get to work. But I don't mean like literally get to work, because you really need to be sitting with the Lord in the morning before you get to work, actually. Anyways, so that is number 2. Find tools that work for you. Next Tuesday, not this Tuesday coming up after this Tuesday, but next Tuesday when we're live, it's going to be about using your planner. I'm going to teach you the priority planning strategy that helps me to, use my planner consistently. And it's going to be so great. Number 3 is be willing to learn as you go. Okay? Learn as you go. You probably caught a gist of this through as I'm talking. Talked about all of these fears that we have to overcome, talked about all of these failures that I've made, and, be willing to learn as you go. Be willing to. Be willing to shut the mouth of perfectionism and just start somewhere, somehow, some way. Use what you have, okay? This is our favorite scripture to talk about when we say use what you have. When Moses was standing at the Red Sea and the Israelites were stressed out to the umpteen. And God said to Moses, "What are you calling me for? Use what is in your hands." God said, "Why are you crying to me? Use what's in your hand. Use this. I already gave it to you. Use it. Figure it out. Use it." Right? Some of us are just sitting here crying, complaining, "God, what is it?" But if we were just diligent enough and had enough faith to use what He already gave us, a lot of our problems will be solved. A lot of our worries will be taken care of. And a whole lot of purpose will be fulfilled. But because we've been trapped by the fear of failing, the fear of people, and the fear of unknown, these are the major ones. We are slow and stuck sometimes. And listen, God just wants us to use what we got in our hand. You feel me? Monitor number 2. Don't look at my emails. Don't look at my emails, guys. That's called being nosy. That's called being nosy. Why is it not showing my screen? Let's turn that off. as you're building. So be encouraged. Be encouraged that nobody's perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. You're going to keep making changes till you get it right. Find the tools that work for you. And a planner, if you don't have one, or if you have one and you're not consistent with it, start with the 5-week mini planner. Start with the little goal, and so that you can build up to the big goal. 5 weeks is like a month, or a month and some extra days, a month and extra week, right? Start with the little goal so you can honor that, and then build up to the big goal of using the full year planner for the whole year. Okay? So, as we wrap this up, my nose is itching. I'm so sorry. But as we wrap this up, I want to tell you this client story. So I have many, many different people that I work with. And, working as a freelancer, I have a lot of one-time projects. And I have, if I could give you a percentage, I would say about 80 of my work is one-time projects, and about 20% would be returning or repeating projects / clients, right? And so I have people messaging me all the time like, hey, I got this, what can we do? Hey, I got this, what can we do? And I have this one client, prospective client, who messaged me, and he sent me his project details. I don't even know if it's a man, but I'm just going to say he sent me his project details and shared the information, and I gave him a quote back. And his response to my quote was LOL. Nothing else, no period, no smile, no explanation, nothing. He said LOL, and I never heard from him again. And this was at a time where I was like, Lord, I need to pay my bills. Like, where is the clients? Where is the work? Where is the help? Like, what are you gonna do this month to make sure I can pay my rent? Like, I'm just like, Lord, I need, this was right after Christmas. I'm just like, what is going on? And here we go. Got this client. He got this big old book he once made. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let's get the work done. Send him the investment quote. And he says, LOL, just played in my face. Play in my face all day. It's crazy. And that some people be like, you know what, Lord, that was I thought that said this is why you don't read a text message in the middle of talking. But I was like, Lord, this man just going to play in my face. What's going to happen? But I didn't fret, because I know the God that I serve. And if he's brought me to this point of life, he's going to take me to the next part. He brought me through this month. He's going to take me to the next month, and the next month, and the next month, and the next month. And we're going to build, right? And so you're going to have you're going to have clients that are difficult. You're going to have clients that are rude. Praises all be unto God that I have met very, very, very few rude clients. I think maybe one. I think I met maybe one client that was rude. But praises be unto the Lord, okay? Praises be unto the Lord. He's definitely gracious, but that experience I will never forget. This is the man said LOL. After I quote him, never heard anything back from him. You're going to get experiences like this. Do not let your experience with your customers or your members in your community or people who leave comments on your videos derail you, right? When I used to make content all the time, teaching the word, people would come under my comments. This man called me a brainwashed slave or something. He called me. I'm like, whoa, dude. That's wild. That's what you think about it? Okay. And I was a lot younger in the spirit back then. And so I was more so kind of wanting to clap back at him. And I think I did talk back and forth for him for a little bit, and then I just stopped. But it was like these learning experiences. But people will try to push you to the edge, derail you. The enemy uses people to do this. So I just wanted to share that story so you can get some, hey, this stuff is real life. We put all the cute stuff on the internet, but nobody tells you about when somebody laughs at your investment quote. Nobody tells you about that. They just tell you about the thousands of dollars they're making and the many trips they get to go on. Nobody tells you about the times where they're wondering if they're going to be able to pay their mortgage next month, or they ain't got no clients, right? Nobody tells you about that. I'm going to tell you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to tell you. Um, Amen. So I hope that this stream, this video was encouraging for you, equipping to say the least. Again, I'm here to empower, uplift, and equip. Empower you to live on purpose, equip you with biblical strategy, and uplift you to greater faith so that you can continue to build, create, produce, lead in the area and the assignment and the purpose that God has called for your life, okay? If you have not yet liked this stream, share this stream, subscribe to my YouTube channel right now in Jesus' name. And then also share it with somebody who you know that needs to be encouraged. And they probably maybe they haven't even started their business yet, but they want to. And they're thinking about it, and they're like, well, I got all these fears. They talk about how they're afraid of this person saying something, or they don't want to be judged. They're talking about how they don't want to be embarrassed, or they're talking about they don't want to fail or get it wrong. They're talking about they don't know what's going to happen if they start. Listen, go now and share this video with them. You don't even have to leave a message. You don't even have to say nothing. Just click the share, put it in their inbox, and move on about your day. Let this be your daily good deed to share this video in your friend's inbox. And don't even give them an explanation. Just be like, watch this, please, and let me know your thoughts, okay? Just watch it. Just watch it. All right. This is your girl, Coach NaQuandra. Thanks for watching. Use the link in the description to get your 5-week journal. We'll be back next Tuesday, and I'm excited for it. And I am looking forward to reading your comments, and I will respond, okay?